I mean, blam. Oh, where am I? Oh, sorry folks, just had a little nap there. It's very warm here in St. John's, Newfoundland, way out on the far eastern parts of North America, where today comes a heat-ridden episode of In the Library of Graphic Literature, woo, with your hot and steamy host here, Wallace Ryan. How's it going? But yeah, it's very humid here today, actually. Having a nice spin on the old rack won't help there. But yes, summer was slow in coming to us out here on the far eastern edges of North America, but it has finally arrived. And boy, did it ever, with a vengeance. Yesterday was actually even more humid. This reminds me of what it's like in New York during the summer times. Anyway, so I'm going to try different mugs too. This, of course, I have the Eye of Agamotto watching me here today, at least until the water goes cold. So I got a lot of these mugs. Actually, I usually got art supplies in them or stuff like that. So I decided, hey, I'm going to wash this one out, make a cup of tea, and it'll be my prop cup of tea. But it's real. This particular brand, this is Tim Hortons, actually, Earl Grey tea. Not a bad little brand. Anyway, oh, it's so warm that let's just get right down to it and whew. And do this week's books. There's not a lot of books this week. Oh, actually, there's one over here. I forgot to move her over. See, it's the heat. It's the heat. I blame it on the heat. Not only that, but the traffic. You hear that outside? Isn't that ridiculous? Oh, okay. Anyway, what are we going to start with? Let's start actually with a Valiant title here. Britannia. History's First Detective. Well, by Peter Milliken and a fine crew of illustrators, it seemed. I can remember at the time there was a lot of excitement about this title. Especially the first issue went for some mucho bucks, I do believe, at the time. And, but yeah, so I always thought that when it comes to hardcover, I will have a read of it. Whew. Now, this is the other thing, too, is when you're sweaty like I am now, you have to be careful when you're opening and displaying books. So you don't want to be sweating on your fine purchases. So, follow me as I do this. I mean, you could always have a cloth if you want to wipe yourself down. Or, you know, a toy. Oh, stop using me as a sweat rag, Wallace. Oh, blah, blah. Shut up, Dracula. Yeah, he's just getting in the way, Wallace. Okay, now that the toys are talking to me again. Okay, here we go. Britannia. Whew. Very nice Johnson cover too. Love Johnson does amazing covers, you know. Let's get real about this. But let's have a look inside, shall we? Put that to the side and then I'll get in close to you. Nice and close. Oh, isn't that crack there? Ooh. Okay. So lots of killing and stuff going on there. I guess it's set in Roman times, you know, and there was generally a lot of killing. But yeah, I'm kind of curious. Like I said, I'm going to read it. It's other Milliken things I've liked through the years, so I'm going to give this a try. And it's kind of neat departure from you know, normal superhero comics. So a lot of times when I've seen, and actually, you know, Valiant actually has delivered some cool sort of side series in that over the past few years. So Let me give this one a shot. What was the other one they did? I can see it from where I am here. And the others I got all boxed up. So, but anyway, good old Valiant. But yeah, give it a read. Okay, gotta have more tea. More tea or one will collapse. Ugh. Okay. High vodka motto. Power me on. Okay, Walls. Yeah, I'm right here, Walls, in case you need me. Okay. Okay, get back to it. Okay. Anyway, speaking of Superman, hey, Walls, did you call me? No. I have a book here. Oh, those are some of my earlier adventures. Yeah, so you say. Yeah, that was way back in the days when I did like action comics. Okay, that's enough of you. Anyway, continue to love the DC Omnibus line, and I hope, as opposed to a lot of other stuff that DC's been at lately, that they won't turn their backs on this line, because this is this particular line of books, the Omnibus line, if they continue the way they are, will be very important to the history of comics. Because, I mean, a lot of the times they're in a lot of their new series and all that, they've gotten to or surpassed where they did with the DC archives. So, if people continue to buy them, especially in this format and all that, they'll continue to print them out, and we'll get more and more stuff beyond what we actually got there. So, I urge everyone, any collector out there, besides that, they're a fascinating read anyway. When I was younger, I didn't like Golden Age stories as much. I looked at them and I thought, oh, geez, drawing is crude, oh, these comics suck, blah, 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 blah. But the more I started to read them as the years went on, especially when I got into my 20s and 30s and all that, there was something changed, and it's just kind of like, geez, I kind of like this now. There's something kind of cool about this artwork, even though it's not, like Neil Adams or whatever. To see it in a different light, in a more mature light, it was just like, wow, this stuff is kind of interesting. So, like, who do we have here? Wayne Boyne, who always fascinated me with his huge chests. Jack Burnley, who did Starman, I think. Wim Mortimer, Charlie Pars, Al Plastino, who used to redraw the faces of Superman in the Fourth World. George Russo's Kurt Swan, and Ira Yarborough. I kind of don't mind Wayne Boyne, but Kurt Swan to me is one of the, if not the greatest Superman artist of all time. When I think of Superman, I think of Superman drawn by Kurt Swan. He really is. He epitomizes everything about him without, any subtle plot changes that may have taken place over the years, Swan Superman, especially the 70s stuff, that really is modern Superman to me. Anyway, this old warhorse does prattle on. Anyway, here, feast your eyes on this baby here. So like I say, in terms of the artwork, it's not what you expect, like I say, with today's art, but you look at it in a cartoony sense and it's actually kind of reads even better. But love the omnibus format. Like I say, the just gets to deliver so many comics, so much bang for your buck. I'm trying to read my way actually through all my DC omnibuses, and I'm still stuck at Batman. I've read everyone up to that, and it's funny too, because those are stories that I read when they came out as in DC archives. So, but I plan to read every single one of these volumes. Otherwise, I always go on about how an unread book is almost a bit of a crime. So I have an obligation sometime, or especially in my remaining years of my life, remaining decades, hopefully, I'll get a chance to read a lot of this. And I do it all for you folks. That's true. Okay, now let's take a break for another swish of tea. Oh. Yeah, I just finished off a class there today. I teach comics at the Anna Templeton Centre here in St. John's, Newfoundland, where I've taught it for many years. It's great. I like the summertime ones. It's more relaxed atmosphere, and today we had a field trip to downtown Comix. The kids loved it there, and went back and they got to watch cartoons, and they loved them. I talked to a lot of them about because there was actually a few really talented kids. I always make sure if there's any talented kids in my classes to have a chat with them and mention so we do a comic jam every month. As a matter of fact, tonight it happens to be tonight in a couple of hours, and I encourage them to go to the comic jam because they'll meet other kids their age who are also into comics and all that. And myself and Paul Tucker, who created the jam, that was part of the thing, is to have an atmosphere where we could basically help people get together and turn out work together, like him and me. And that happened with me and Jerry Porter when I first did my first comic, and then with my friend Fox Lidstone. So it's the networking is a good part of it, and it's for me too. It was good to get out of my studio as a kid and all that, and meet other people and socialize, and it all worked out in the end, right? No matter what people tell you. Anyway, okay. Wonder Woman by John Byrne. I got this just because I've gotten the other two, and I am a Byrne fan, and I figure I owe it to myself to at least give this a try. As I've said many times before, I started with Iron Fist and I went from there. Now, I seen it was announced the sensational She-Hulk Omnibus by Byrne is coming out. That one I will definitely buy, just because it's a sort of Marvel classic in a lot of ways. But yeah, I always did like Byrne's art. Great panel layout. He drew characters perfectly. I always liked his interpretation of a lot of characters. But yeah, even from a young age, like I say, right from that very first Iron Fist comic that I seen on the stand one night, I think it was number 2 too, it wasn't number 1, and I had whatever, my 25 cents or whatever. I just had enough for one comic, and looked around, none of the others, from what I can remember, seemed to wow me, because I was more of a DC fan, was buying DC stuff, but I was dipping into Marvel here and there, but not a lot of modern Marvel, and that was one of them, and the love affair went from there. Man, oh man, am I going to sleep tonight? Okay, let's get through it here. Last but not least, from the fine folks at Fantagraphics is Orince Valiant, volume 19, from 73 to 74. I do believe this is where Colin Murphy starts to join him, and it eventually does take over the strip. I'm not sure if they actually credit it here as such. By Hal Foster and John Colin Murphy. Okay. Yeah, it's still. Oh, darn. I hope the piece of sweat missed it, which I think it did. Anyway, yeah, I gotta hold back my head here because I'm starting to sweat. Anyway, loved the series. I was a big Hal Foster fan. Who is it? And he was big. He was one of the last great. Now this is, even though it's signed him, they're starting to see bits of other people come in here to the general strip. So yeah, I'm gonna close this because I'm starting to sweat all over the place here now. But yeah, it's kind of sad actually. There's the Warren archives are coming to an end. The Valiant ones are coming to an end. The Dick Tracy, complete Dick Tracy, Chester Gould coming to an end. Even though they're going to reissue the first 6, I've heard. Way to go, guys. But yeah, lately it seems to be a lot of series coming to an end. Although Carl Barks, well, yeah, the Don Rosa one, but the Carl Barks one will be with us for a while. But yeah, Stan Sakai, God, yeah, so many. And eventually, you know, even the EC are going to peter out sooner or later. What will I collect then? I'm sure I'll figure out something. Anyway, from a very warm and very tired Wallace Ryan, I would like to bid you a good afternoon. Keep on reading them comics, and I'll see you same time, same bat channel next week. Hopefully it won't be as warm as it is today. Oh, there comes that boom tube. Hold on there a second. Boom tube is very warm here, so you know it's going to take me a second to get. Oh my God! It's just whipping me off off the couch. Get hauled away. There I go. I'm gone. And turn off the camera.